what the business is, what the business is, what the business gonna be. Roll Tide, everybody. Hey, welcome to the early, abbreviated, last minute edition of the Long Run. Hey, I'm Piano Man, your host. Hey, I'm glad that we're here. You all, please forgive me. Let me explain what has happened. Um, I know I scheduled it for 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, but I forgot that we have church tonight. We have church. Piano Man, minister of music, and I forgot all about it. I'm proud to say that I am Church of God in Christ, and we have what you call district fellowship, and tonight was our night. And if it was meeting somewhere else, um, I probably would not be going, but because it is meeting at our church, I have to be there. I have to be right there. So, bro, man, is we're gonna do what we do and make sure that we um um have a good time. What's up, Nick? I'm just glad everybody's here. For those that can be on, Nick says, "I'm sorry I missed a couple of live. I have surgery." Hey, man, I hope you're feeling better. But Nick, I hadn't been on either. Piano Man's been pretty busy. I've been on the go, and tonight I'm on the go again because I have to go to church. So, but I know I scheduled this live, and I did not want to put it off. So, like I told the Keeping It a Buck crew, I want to be a man of my word. So I would rather give you, hey KT, good to see you. Um, I would rather give you and do what I do and do the best that I can under the circumstances, as opposed to just shutting it down and not do it at all. I believe in honesty. I believe in transparency. So I'm here, even though it's going to be a sort of abbreviated because I do have to be at church. But I just wanted to holler at my folks. What's up, Dwight, my producer, my main man? Man, I believe in giving my people props. So, Nick, it's good to see you, my man. And I hope and I pray that you are feeling better uh, while we're in the uh, wishing people well. Let's continue to pray for and remember OG Gill in our prayers and in our thoughts and everything. He's one of our main guys in our Keeping It a Buck crew. So let's keep him in prayer. Let's just make sure that all of us are covered, not just the Keeping It a Buck crew, but anybody that needs prayer and that needs just uplifting at this time. We want to be able to let you know, hey, our thoughts and our prayers are with you. So we got you. We got you. What's good, everybody? I hope everybody had a great day. I hope everybody's day went well. Mine was okay. Them students kind of getting on my nerves there. But 8 more days and then Mardi Gras season kicks off for us. We have 3 days off and I am ready. Ready. KT, I'm ready. You already know, KT. I ain't even got to tell you what the business is. You already know. You already know. I am ready. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I am ready. Listen, before we go any further, I want to hope and pray that everyone gets a chance to watch The Tides That Bind. The Tides That Bind. I've heard nothing but positive things about it. And so I hope that everybody gets a chance to watch it. I was listening to Ryan Fowler talk with one of the producers of the show today, and they were kind of going into some in-depth detail. So I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts, but I will tell you this. In episode 1, there is some emotional stuff that's going to be shown. So if you're a Tide fan, I ask that you, it's on Fox Nation. Uh, Download the app if you will, but if you have it, watch it, and I think you're going to be impressed. I know I will. I won't get a chance to watch it when it comes on. I want to say I think it comes on at 7. I'm not quite sure, but watch it. Be sure and watch it. Catch that, and it's talking about the ins and the outs of the beloved Alabama Crimson Tide. And so I just want all of the Tide fans to be sure and watch that, and let's support our Alabama Crimson Tide. Well, I'm gonna hop to what what I actually came to talk about for just a few minutes and everything, and hopefully others will see us. But yeah, KT, yeah, you you know, you know, you know, you know. Oh Lord Jesus. Matter of fact, KT, I talked to my best friend from down there, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. And you already know I'll probably be back on there hitting y'all up and say, oh, we had a time last night. And KT, don't you dare answer back with what you normally what you and my sister normally say. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But don't y'all be surprised if I get up there and say, oh, we had a time last night. Oh my goodness, man. But Mardi Gras is one of my favorite times of the year. And you see so much, you see some crazy stuff at Mardi Gras. But don't believe it's not all bad. But I will say this: I will be skipping the night festivities of Lundi Gras. I'll go skip that. Okay. So anyway, I tell you what we're gonna do. Today is February 19th. We're gonna have a pre-Mardi Gras segment. Okay. Let's just put it like that. And I'll tell you what I want you to do. All right. All right, baby. Yeah, baby. Uh-huh. I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. So I want you to have a pre-Mardi Gras. We're going to have a pre-Mardi Gras festivity. Yeah. And I hope I can bring Kangaroo Black and Coach Sean and all the rest of B Sharp. Even their old crazy Tez from Auburn, have a pre-Mardi Gras little celebration. And we just do what we do, and make it happen. Make it happen. But listen, right quick. It's 5:23 Central Standard Time. I'll be on here for about another 45 minutes or so. But let me tell you something. Today, do y'all know? And if you're interested, like I am, guess what? We are exactly 51 days away from A-Day. 51. If you in the chat, I know it ain't but a few of us here, but I'm going to even put it in the chat. 50. Oh, here we go. Let's put it in there. I need everybody. Let's just put down. There we go. I need you to write in the chat 51. 51. The number 51. We are 51 days away from A-Day. I am so excited. I mean, it's cold, it's this, that, and the third, but my mind is going toward April 12th, the Lord willing, and things, and they don't cancel spring drill. I mean, the spring game and everything like they did in Nebraska. But we are 51 days away from seeing what we're going to get a sneak peek as into what we're going to look like. Nick says, I can't wait to see what our team is going to look like. And that's the whole point of this, Nick, is to see what we look like. But I ran into something, Dwight and KT. Now, KT, I don't know, but as I get information, you know me, I'll get it to you all as I get it. About the old format, I'm not sure, but we will see. But today I ran into something that was quite interesting. I was on one of the Alabama sites, and they have quite a few of them. I was on one today, that is sanctioned by the University of Alabama, not just an offset of them, but something that is actually there. I'm going back on there tomorrow and get some more information. But hey, Carla, there's Carla. There she is, my sissy, Carla. But we're 51 days away from A-Day. But I want to give you some sort of backstories, and some people will say it's not important, but the Piano Man is kind of important. So we all know that we were 9-4 last year. We had and we were 5-3 in the SEC, and we know our losses were to Tennessee, Vandy, and Oklahoma. Our wins were against Georgia, Missouri, LSU, Auburn, South Carolina. That's far as the SEC wins go. We had our on our scoring, we were averaging 33.77 points per game. Our opponent was averaging 17.38 in our average scoring. We had 439, where our opponent had 226. There are a lot of different things that I could give you as far as the total of our team, and maybe at another time and at another place, I can give you that. But I want to show you something else. I want to read something in your hearing, and I want you to think about something. When you get down to the individual stats, that's what I'm trying to get to, Nick and KT, Carla, Dwight. That's what I'm trying to get to. What I'm trying to get to are your individual stats. Now, check this out. In the rushing stats, hey, Carla, good to see you again. I didn't know. Oh, you said, hey, Piano. And I didn't mean not to speak. I'm just seeing it because it's coming up so fast and everything. Thank you all for being the great people that you are. But check this out, y'all. I want to show you something. This is what Nick means. This is what I mean. This is what others mean. The individual rushing stats for 2024. Jalen Milroe, he played 13 games. Now, this is rushing now. 13 games, 168 attempts, 966 yards. I want you to bear that in mind. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks, Carla. I didn't know if I spoke, like I said, it's going so fast, and I don't never ever want to ignore my folks. I love y'all that much. So I'll speak again. Hey, y'all. Anyway, 966 rushing yards from Jalen Milroe. He lost 240 yards. He had a net of 726 yards. He averaged 4.3 yards a carry with 20 touchdowns, and his longest run was 70 yards. Now, let me go back through that again. Out of 13 games, remember we're 9-4, 13 games, 168 rushing attempts at 966 yards and 20 touchdowns. Rushing the football, Jalen Milroe. Listen to this. Jam Miller, 13 games, 145 rushing attempts, 698 yards, 2 yards away from 700 yards. The quarterback, 966 rushing yards. The running back, Jam Miller, 698 rushing yards, 30 yards lost. This is Jam, with a net of 668 yards, 4.6 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns. And his longest, hey, Kimberly, 56-yard run. Justice Haynes, 12 games played. Y'all gonna catch on in a minute what I'm saying. 79 attempts. Notice the attempt difference. 168 for Jalen, 145 for Jam, not even 80 for Justice Haynes. He gained 400 and 63 total yards. He had a loss of 15, and he netted 448. He was an average of, let me see, 5.7 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, and his longest run was 85 yards. Hey, Susan. Hey, Susan, good to see you. Let's go back through the narrative again. Jalen Milroe, 13 games played, 168. We're talking about running the football now. 168 attempts, 966 yards. He lost 240 yards, which gave him a net gain of 726 yards, 20 touchdowns, and a 70-yard. His longest was 70 yards in rushing, or he had a 70-yard run. Jam, on the other hand, 13 games, 145 attempts, 698 yards, a loss of 30 yards, netted him 668, an average of 4.6 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns, and his longest run was 56 yards. Justice Haynes, 12 games played, 79 attempts, 463 yards. He lost 15 yards, which gave him a net of 448 yards at 5.7 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns, and his longest run was 85 yards. Richard Young, 7 games played, 27 attempts, 150 games, 4 yards for 150 yards, 4 yards for a loss, which gave him a net of 146 at 5.4 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, and Richard Young's longest run was 62 yards. Ty Simpson, I'm talking about rushing the football, running the ball. 6 games played, 8 rushing attempts, 52-yard gain, 8 yards in losses, 44 yards net, 5.5 yards a carry, 1 touchdown, rushing the football, and his longest run was 17 yards. Let's deal with that for a minute. Does anybody see a pattern? Thank you, KT. Thank you. Please say that again for the folks in the back. Hey, Gary, what's up, little bro? What's up, little bro? What's up? Roll Tide to you, my friend. Roll Tide to you, my brother. I don't think I need to go back through that narrative again. When the starting quarterback is just a few yards away in his overall gains, not taking away the losses, of 966 yards, 240 yards lost, Jalen Milroe ended up with 726 yards, a 4.3 average of carry, and 20 touchdowns. And his longest run was 70 yards. And if I'm not mistaken, that was against LSU. And then your next back, your running back. Thank you. I want to say something to you. Earlier in the year, I'm just going to put it like that. OG Gill, big homie. Good to see you, OG. Early in the year, everybody on here knows. Bino, what's up? What's up, brother? Good to see you, Bino. Good to see you, OG Gill. Everybody knows I was a Milroe supporter. To my heart, I was a Milroe supporter. But at some point or another, the light had to come on that something is totally wrong with this picture. Now that the season is over and you've got this in black and white, listen, our running backs, I'm with you, KT, severely underutilized. Severely. And when I use the word severely, and I think I understand which way KT is coming from when she uses the word severely, I'm going to put it to you like this. In my opinion, totally unsolicited, but we could not get out of our own way and win. Because I'm about to show you another stat here in just a minute. And none of you all on here are going to like this next stat. What the upcoming stat that I'm about to show. Yes, it sounds interesting, Kimberly. It does, but it is interestingly sad that we shot ourselves in the foot when your running backs, and this is what Coach Sean was trying to tell us. This is what Coach Sean was saying. I'm gonna get to that in just a minute, KT. That's a whole horse about the freaking penalties. KT, that is a whole horse of a different color. I hadn't even got to that yet, but I will. Just hold your point. Let's deal with these running backs right quick, because I'm finna show you something else. When your running backs didn't even, when your two starters of Jam and Justice barely got 1,000 yards together. Yeah. Hold on, KT. Just hold on. Hold what you got. I ain't gonna tell you not to say another word about the penalties yet, but just hold what you got. We're gonna get to that in just a minute. But this was so interestingly sad that the quarterback, 966 yards. 966. And your next back was right at when you get through the net yardage, he was like 50 yards behind him. But in the beginning stages of the whole thing, your running back of Jam Miller had 698 yards, and your quarterback had 966. Yes, Carla, egregious. Yes, KT, sad. Sad, y'all. When you go back and look at the report card, yes, Carla, ridiculous. Together couldn't even amount to 1,000 yards together. That's what Coach Sean was telling us way back. And I want to say something, and I ain't crapping on nobody. I ain't talking about nobody. But this, my dears and sirs, is what don't make, when you begin to talk about this and look at it for what it really is. Hey, y'all, this is not being a fair weather fan. If I'm a fair weather fan, then somebody correct me. Listen, once again, what does Coach Sean always say? The proof is in the details. It's in the details. These are the details that I'm giving you. When I was sitting there gathering this information, I'm sitting there in my classroom on some downtime, and I just said, you've got to be kidding me. When you're looking at it in real time, yeah, we rah-rah and this, that, and the third. But go back to when we lost to Tennessee, Vandy, Oklahoma, and Michigan. What was the one thing that all of them had in common? They all stopped Milroe. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Challenge me if I'm wrong. Challenge me if I'm wrong. Yep. You're right. You're right, Nick. He did. Yep, you're right. Because I'm about to show you another stat right now. Y'all ready for this? And I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I went and looked up. I said, if I'm going to go and look up anybody, I'm going to go straight to the top. Thank you, KT. We're coming back to that. I'm going to straight to the top. And I went and looked up the stats of Ohio State. Watch this. Will Howard don't even have the same skill set of Jalen Milroe. Y'all ready for this? Will Howard, 16 games played, 309 completions to 423 attempts. He had a completion percentage of 73%, with a total yardage passing now of 4,010 yards. Will Howard, 35 TDs and 10 interceptions. Jalen, on the other hand, well, man, I got to find, let me see. Let me get it. I got it here somewhere. On his passing, wait a minute, I had it. I'm going to get it here in just a second. Jalen had 11 interceptions. Okay? Just put it like that. But watch this. When you put the two and let them go versus Will Howard versus Jalen Milroe, as far as yardage goes, Will Howard, 4,010. Jalen Milroe, 2,844 yards, with a net difference of 1,166 yards. I'm not trying to I ain't putting down on nobody. Exactly, Susan. No adjustments. A player of this of Milroe's caliber, and when you line him up against some of these other cats, I'm going to show you something else. Trayvon Henderson, the running back, 16 games, 144 attempts. Running back KT, running back Nick, running back Carla. Here we go. Running back Bino. Here we go. 1,016 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7.1 yards per carry. Now, before we get up there and say, well, they don't play in the SEC, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were playing big boy football, and Henderson went off for over 1,000 yards by himself. Wait a minute. Quinshon Judkins, remember him from Ole Miss? 16 games, 194 attempts, 1,060 yards, 14 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry. So here we go. Quinshon Judkins versus Jam Miller. Quinshon Judkins at 1,060 yards. Forgive me if I'm talking loud. Versus Jam Miller's 698. A difference of 300. yards. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Reading it to you. And then it's going to explain why I'm excited about A-Day. Because here we go. Jeremiah Smith. I told you, people might not want to hear this, but I'm bringing it up because, see, these are the things we got to start looking at. Jeremiah Smith, 16 games, 76 receptions, 1,315 yards. And remember, he's a freshman. Bear that in mind. He's a freshman. 1,315 yards, 17.3 yards per catch, 15 touchdowns at 82.2 yards per game. And then, okay, so here's Jeremiah Smith versus Ryan Williams. Ready for this? Jeremiah Smith, 1,315 yards. Ryan Williams, 865 yards the whole year, with a net difference of 450 yards. Mm-hmm. You got to give that dude cold-blooded. Yeah. Watch this. Emeka Egbuka, the other wide receiver for Ohio State. 16 games, 81 receptions, 1,011 yards, 12.5 yards per catch, 10 touchdowns, 63.2 yards per game. And everybody's wondering why Ohio State is the national championship. And I'm a Bama fan all the way down to the last toenail on my foot. That right there, folks, just in my little humble, unsolicited opinion, is the separation of the contenders from the pretenders. Now, let's do this. KT, thank you, Susan. Better play calling, everything. But now I want to go ahead and I have to agree with Nick. Milroe wasn't it. He didn't play because and now that you look back on it, the offense was watered down to fit his skill set, which I'm about to show you something else. I'll show you something else here in just a second. But KT said something back up earlier in the chat. Penalties. Here you go, KT. Check this out. 69 yards per game, Alabama in penalties. But the opponent, now this is a year, this when you factor all the games, the year, Alabama averaged 69 yards in penalties per game. Think about that. Almost 70 yards in penalties per game. You took yourself out of a lot of stuff. And I put down there, undisciplined. Undisciplined. Yes, KT killed us in the red zone. It kept us out of the red zone. Penalties. Let me tell you how many on an average on the year, the opponents 47.85 yards a game. We were giving them games because of penalties, being undisciplined. Undisciplined. Yes, KT, I say it again, killed us in the red zone. So 69, no. So watch this here. So here you go, KT. 90 for a whole year, 95 penalties at 897 yards. $897 yards in penalty. Cut my phone off there. 897 yards in penalties. That's yards that you could have been given jam and justice. More to Ryan Williams. More. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you something else here in just a minute. Did I write this stuff down somewhere? Did I write it down? I don't think that I did. Matter of fact, I know I didn't. Or did I? No, I didn't. Or did I? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Tells the story. It tells the story. The 897 yards. But you want to hear another interesting point? Now, Nick said something. Out with the old, in with the new. But let's stick with the old for just 1 or 2 more minutes. You remember when I ran the comparison with the Ohio State and the Alabama with the starters, this, that, and the third? Okay. Let's run another comparison. This is what's going to be my safe way into A-Day of why I am excited about what's about to happen. Now I'm going to bring in the passing. Okay. So Jalen Milroe, 13 games played, as we've already established. His rating was 148. This is a yearly thing now. His rating was 148.81. Jalen had 205 completions in 319 attempts. Thank you, Kimberly. With 11 interceptions. Jalen he completed. He was like a 64.26% passer. This is what JB was talking about. See, I don't mind putting my folks on, because when they make valid points, I'm going to give you your props. This is what JB was saying, folks. JB was saying, when you sit back and you look at these stats right here, that's lack of preparation. And that's lack of comprehending what you're supposed to be doing for the offense. With 2,844 yards, 16 touchdowns at 218 yards, 0.77 yards per game, 218 yards. Now, for a lot of teams, they'll say that's good and all that kind of stuff. But when you compare it up against another quarterback, it's not so good. It's not so good. It's mid at best. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm going to do this a little backwards. I just gave you Jalen, right? Let me hop to Dylan Lonergan. Dylan Lonergan played in 2 games. His passer rating was 115.53. He had 5 completions on 6 attempts. No interceptions. He didn't have a percentage rating because he only played 2 games. And he had 23 yards on the year and no touchdowns. And he averaged 11.5 yards a throw because he didn't play that much. The reason I went from Jalen to Dylan is because now both Jalen and Dylan are gone. So let's now, Nick, if you're still here, brother, now I want you to write back in the chat, out with the old. Let's look at what we have left. You're gonna find this quite interesting. And like I said, Piano Man is not the brightest crayon in the box, but when something catches my attention, it catches my attention. So here we go, folks. Ty Simpson, we're talking quarterbacks and we're talking passing. Ty Simpson, 6 games he played this past year. He had a QB rating of 112.11, like that. 14 completions on 25 attempts. I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know how I missed all that, but 25 attempts. No interceptions. And he had a 56% rating, or he was a 56% passer. Hold up, KT. See, KT, I'm gonna fire you. No, I'm just picking at you. Fire you now. But 56% at 167 yards, no touchdowns, and his average was 27.83. Ty, I've been saying something was off with all of this. And I want to qualify by saying, when they was talking about Jalen, I was really pulling for Ty to get in. I kind of wanted Jalen to do something else. But when they kept hyping Jalen up, and then I watched him play, I said, okay, he's pretty cool and everything. But I was really hoping for Ty because of being the game manager. Manage the game. Okay? So we see that Ty here with a 112 passer rating, and no interceptions and no touchdowns. Enter one Austin Mack. Now, I know this is going to look real suspect, and some folks are just going to holler that the situations aren't the same, blah, 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 blah. But here we go. Austin Mack, he played in one game. Austin Mack, a 285.87 passer rating. One game. But bruh, man, had a higher rating than the starting quarterback. Now, I understand. Don't think Piano Man is a novice and he don't know his game. Yes, he does. I know my game. I understand how this all goes over a different volume of game. So before any trolls, if you watching and this, that, and the third, Piano Man knows what's happening. But I'm going somewhere. I ain't studying you anyway. This is my show, not yours. Now, 285.87. Watch this. 2 completions, 3 attempts, no interceptions. He was a 66.67% passer. 39 yards, 1 touchdown, and he averaged 39 yards. Now, let's say bye-bye Jalen, bye-bye Dylan. And for all practical points and purposes, I know everybody's hyping up Keelan Russell, and maybe he deserves it. And so, all that good stuff. But far as Piano Man is concerned, and I'm not knocking Keelan, because Keelan Russell has some skills out this world. But if you go back and start looking on paper, you've got actually a 2-man race for starting quarterback. And I'm going to say this. Thank you, Gil. OG, after seeing Jalen play, you must figure time must not be too good. A lot of us have been said it, that something was wrong. Something's wrong. You're down to a two-man race, Ty and Austin. Keelan will be I will say, for the lack of a better word, he will be the wild card, if you will. He's going to be the wild card. I don't know about y'all, but this bothers me. As excited as I am, but OG Gil, this bothers me. It bothers me. It bothers me. I got a few more minutes. I got to get ready to go to church. Why does it bother me? Because, see, at the end of the day, y'all, you've heard the facts. You've heard it. I don't know how the quarterback race is going to shape up, but me having to look at it right here from the stats tells me right now who's the next quarterback for Alabama. And I know some people when they watch this, when it makes it to YouTube on the I'll probably get some negative vibes about it, and that's cool because it's just my opinion. But I'm telling you now, unless there is a drastic improvement, I got a feeling that some of the really supporters of Ty, they're going to be disappointed. Because in the words of the late Kobe Bryant, the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. You may not want to accept it. You may not want to hear it. You may not want to embrace it. But the numbers don't lie. And I kept saying that Ty didn't throw a touchdown. No touchdowns. Only Jalen and Austin. And we all knew who Austin Mack threw it to. It was D'Erico Scott. So on the one hand, Piano Man is excited about the upcoming A-Day. We're 51 days away. We're actually 2.5 weeks away from the beginning of spring drills. I wish that I was there in Tuscaloosa and I could see what's going on if they would allow us to, and so forth and so on. I'm excited about the defense. You got 9 out of 10 starters coming back, and you got just this big roster coming. But I'm gonna tell you something. That quarterback battle is more to it than meets the eye. And all I'm asking, all of our fans, is just to be fair. Be fair. Me too, Kimberly. I'm excited. But I'm also worried at the same time. Because I believe that in this coming up season, I believe that some protocol is going to be broken. I can about see it coming. You're going to have to look, 10 out of 11 starters back, OG Gill. You got that right. And Georgia fan, I was on Twitter today, and this, excuse me for putting it this way, but this is what the Georgia fans said on Twitter today. Kirby and them, we're gonna beat Alabama's. We're gonna soundly beat their ass this year. That's what he said. I just said I put an Eddie Murphy gif up where he's from the Nutty Professor, where he's laughing at Dave Chappelle, and I just said, bro, you took the comedy too far. Yeah. And Nick, back at you, bro. That's all I'm saying is let's be fair. Bino, you're right. The unknown makes it exciting, and the potential. It's the potential. I didn't even get a chance to even talk about the potential, and on the next show we will. But I wanted just to show y'all, just to bring y'all some stats tonight, that this is what we're facing. I'm not even, you know what? I'm going to say it again. Like I said last year, I'm more worried about injuries than I am about production. Because I think that this year, when everything comes together, especially on offense, Alabama's going to be dangerous. But you're right, Bino, the unknown makes it exciting. But from where I'm sitting and reading these stats right here, it's some things is not as unknown as it appears to be. So let the competition begin. Let the competition begin. Let it begin. And I'm with Nick. I just want the best quarterback to play and not the one who's been there the longest. That's not always the best thing. So this time, this year, we can kill all the Nick Saban talk. Listen, folks, he's not coming back. It's no longer his team. Just the field is named after him, but that team is no longer his. He relinquished that duty last year. It's no longer his. He's having too much fun doing ESPN stuff. He can say what he want to say, when he want to say it, how he wants to say it. You can't do that in coaching. So I'm just saying, I just gave you that tonight. That I just wanted you to kind of think about it. Now, this is something that me and the crew be talking about from time to time, but it makes what JB said be true. And OG Gill said it too. We've all said it, but OG Gill and JB have really explicitly talked about that. You can tell about the lack of comprehension from the former quarterback. There were some things he could not comprehend well, and it showed. It showed. OG Gill said the defense will lead us in the early stages of the season because of experience until the quarterback comes along. Exactly. Exactly. And I believe this might not be the best analogy, but this is the only one that I can kind of think of off the top of my head. It puts me in the mind of the 85 Chicago Bears. Why do I say that? If you sit back and go back and look at the Bears as a whole, offensively, they really were not that good. But their defense set them up. Their defense and special teams set them up, and it made it a lot more easier to do what they did. Just being honest with you. And that's what this reminds me of. Had that many starters coming back. And I'm going to tell you something else. And on our next show, I'm going to talk about it, the defense a little more with some with the defense a little more, and have more stats and everything for us as far as the defense goes. But tonight, I just wanted to talk about the quarterbacks, the offense. I wanted to run some things down and went straight to the top. And I did some comparisons with Ohio State offensively. Ryan Williams would have been the best in the nation, or at least it would have been more of a head-to-head thing between him and Jeremiah Smith if the offense had really been catered right, had it been set up better. I'm just saying. So, Alabama fans, whether you're on here live or whether you're going to listen to it later on, we have a lot to be excited about. And as Bino said, now it's the unknown that's going to make it exciting. So I'm just saying to you, come what may, April the 12th, A-Day, in my opinion, be there or be square. Get in or get left out. Whatever festivities are going on, get in or get left out. But I plan on being there with bells on. I'm serious. Because this is going to be fun to watch. And you can best believe that I'm going to be watching, listening to other content creators, other podcasters and everything, other broadcasters and reporters who are, if they allow them to be at the practices and things like that, I'm going to be watching and listening and everything. And I'm just going to come back and report to you what they said. But like I said, we've got 2.5 more weeks, I think. And then the first practice starts. Oh, it's about to be on now. It's about to be on. So, folks, I'm just saying to you now, think about what I said. Just kind of kind of put it into perspective. Because we over here around the Keeping It a Buck crew, they hit me to some stuff. And like I said, especially Bino, JB, and OG Gill, and even Carla and Susan and KT, when we're all in conversation, people bring stuff to the table and everything. And Gary and Dwight, everybody, we sit down and it's almost like we have this round table discussion. But the one thing that both JB and Gill said, OG Gill said, a lot of that came because somebody at the top was not comprehending what was what. And it showed. And now it just showed. So I had some more stats, and I think I left them at work. I didn't pick up all my stat sheets and everything. But let me tell you what, I'm gonna put it to you like this. There was a lot of meat left on the bone if just the right people had been in place. I'm not, and like Nick said, now we're out with the old, we're in with the new. We got this going, but I'm just saying what I'm saying as I get ready to go to close and get ready to go to church. There was a lot of meat left on that bone this past year. My hopes, my prayer, everything, y'all, that we tear that bone up this year. Get no meat left on the bone. As a matter of fact, don't even leave the bone marrow. Get it out. Eat every gristle. Get it out. Don't leave no stone unturned. Get it out. Exactly, Carla. This year, don't spare no feelings. If you ain't got it, you just ain't got it. Get somewhere until you get it. Get your mind right. Got to get your mind right. This is Alabama. Those stats are, I mean, like I said, for some team, they would have been saying, I wish we would have had something. And yeah, I know you wish you would have, but this is Alabama. We've got to establish that running game from the dough, from the jump. And in the words of Coach Sean, you can't be so passy. You got to balance that thing out. It's got to be balanced. Because the last time I watched Washington, when they had Coach DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and Sheridan, Jamarcus Shepard, and everything, man, listen, a 1,000-yard runner, and a 1,000-yard receiver, and then you had another receiver that wasn't too far behind. Now here we are here with a lot more talent and giving Penny Annie production. Can't do that, just go rip. We've got the squad. We've got the talent. You can't play politics in this and think it's going to be okay. Forget who's been there the longest. If they're not playing up the speed, put in the person that is playing up the speed. This is not about trying to pacify people. This is about winning ball games. This is about creating your own legacy. Coach Saban has done his part. Gene Stallings has done his part. Brad Bryant did his part. Come on, Coach. It's time for you to do the doggone thing. It's time to do it now. It's time. It's past time. Got to do it. That's it, Bino. That's it, Bino. Right there, big dog. I put that up there. Y'all read what Bino said? Putting the right players in the right position. It's got to be right. It's got to be right. So with that being said, there were your stats for tonight. I purposely did that tonight for that right there because I wanted y'all to hear for yourself what the numbers said. And it made me mad all over again. It made me mad. I ain't going to lie to you. It made me mad. So our coaches, everybody, the coaches from Coach DeBoer all the way down to the last coach. Hats off to you, fellas. But it's time to get with the getting now. From right now until we play the last ball game in December. Because I'm going to put it to you this way. This year, I want to go to Atlanta for the SEC championship. I ain't playing with y'all. I want to go to Atlanta. How about y'all? I want to go. Watch this. Carla said, a bunch of wasted talent and opportunities last season. Oodles and oodles of it. We weren't supposed to. The games that we lost, Shouldn't have lost them. Shouldn't have lost them. I would say something else, but I'm going to say that for another time. I'm just saying now. But no loss this time. No wasted opportunities. No lost opportunities. Quit wasting talent. Get out there. Do your thing. We got to do this. These stats. Exactly, Nick. Now the DeBoer era begins. The Kalen DeBoer era begins now. I'm glad you, wait a minute, Nick, I got to highlight you, bro. I got to highlight that. I got to highlight that, Nick. Hope you don't mind. But there you go, Nick. You made the big screen, partner. The DeBoer era begins now. And Nick, just stay right there for a minute, dear brother. To tell you something else. That means, too, that some of the Saban holdovers, either you get right or you get left. That's how I see that DeBoer era. No more talking about Coach Saban this. Forget that. In the words of Nick Harden, out with the old, in with the new. Nobody's disrespecting Coach Saban. We're thankful for what he did. We're thankful for what we're thankful for those 17 years. The DeBoer era starts now. These stats got to be better than what we're coming with. I'm just saying. I got pissed off all over again. Because I'm with you, Carla. Wasted plays and opportunities. And we had the talent. But when you got people out of position, and they're not, and in the words of JB and OG Gill one more time, and they're not comprehending what they're supposed to do, and you leave them in, and I'm gonna tell you something else that Gill said. I know Gill said it, and I want to say Bino, but really all of us said it. KT, all of us, we all said it. After the third or the fourth ball game, and you still ain't made the adjustments. Now, why are you doing what you're doing? Got to make them adjustments this year. We not there to play favorites. I'm with you, Carla. Any valid heat coming DeBoer's way this season is going to be on him to deal with. No excuses. None at all. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this live with this. Tell you what happened the other day. Give me a little water here. To address Carla and Nick right here. Any valid? I'm going to read Carla's again. Any valid heat coming DeBoer's way? Watch this. I'm put that on the big screen. Any valid heat coming DeBoer's way this season is going to be on him to deal with. No excuses, right? And then Nick says, we all love Saban, but he's gone, and it's DeBoer's time to be the one leading the team, right? Okay, we just see that. 2 days. What's today? Wednesday, Monday? No, yesterday, I think, whenever it was. On Twitter, on X, this little whatever came up and said, ESPN says that it has been determined by ESPN that Tennessee would be the make or break game for Alabama. I commented back and said, no. That won't be the make or break game. The make or break game begins at A-Day. The make or break game begins at spring practice. The make or break game begins at workouts. The make or break game begins now. And I said, but then if you really want to talk about the games, how about Florida State, the first game? Why are you skipping over Florida State? Why are you skipping over ULM? Why are you skipping over Wisconsin? And God help you, why are you skipping over Georgia and Vanderbilt just to get to Tennessee, talking about a make or break game? Oh, but I forgot who was doing the talking. Or broke down ESPN. Better stop listening to ESPN so much. They used to be the authority. They're not the authority anymore. Just being honest with you. You better listen. You better worry about, listen. All I said was Alabama have other fish to fry. They've got spring drills to get ready for. You ain't got time to be worried about Tennessee. What you worried about Tennessee for? Shoot, Florida State has Gus Malzahn as an offensive coordinator. That ought to make you think right there. Thank you, KT. We got to fry our own fish. I'm just saying. Quit listening to ESPN all the time, folks. The Sports Authority. No, you're not. If you're thinking that Alabama's make or break game is Tennessee, when no, nah. We got, and I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I end with this. In the words of JB, we are everybody's Super Bowl. We're everybody's Super Bowl. Alabama. Why? Because we're still the standard. They still, listen, we wasn't even in the national championship playoff run and everything. And who got the most pub? Alabama. Going to the whatever bowl that was we went to and lost to Michigan. Alabama got more coverage about their bowl than Ohio State did. That ought to tell you something right there. Who's the standard? That's how I see it. So I'm just saying, in the words of the late Kobe Bean Bryant, the numbers don't lie. I just gave you some of the numbers. I didn't give you everything. KT was talking about the penalties and everything. Yeah, thank you, dear. I was going to talk about those penalties because when I read that, I had to go back and do a double take and say, that's why we didn't, that's why. And that many penalties mean that you were undisciplined. But this year, we better tighten up on that. Yeah, that we weren't good enough bowl. And for everybody that's hollering, we should have been in the championship picture. No, we shouldn't. And the way I see it, the way we were playing, we didn't even make it to the good enough bowl. We shouldn't have even been there the way we were playing. But I believe this time, that ship is about to get some get right, some act right. So that's just Piano Man's take on it tonight. I know I'll probably get some backlash and this, that, and the third. I don't care. That's my opinion. Roll Tide and rise up. Roll Tide, bro. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Good to see you. It's just my opinion. But we better straighten up these numbers. But I put a smile on your face. But I'm ready to see that quarterback battle. And yeah, I'm ready to see it. Like I said, Ty, Austin, Keelan Russell. I believe that Keelan is going to be the he's going to be the wild card. But I'm telling you now, you better watch out. I ain't got no money in my pocket, but I got my Cash App card. I got my Cash App card. I got my money on Austin. I got my money on Austin. This ain't about who done been there the longest and waited your turn and blah, 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 blah. This is about who's ready. And Bino saw what I wrote the other day. The edge belongs to whomever can grasp the concept of what the offense is all about. They asked who they think the edge belonged to. Was it Ty Austin? The edge belongs to the quarterback who has grasped the offense and knows what everybody's supposed to be doing. That's who has the edge. And right about now, I don't know. But if I had to go, I'm going to read it to you one more time, and I got to get out of here because I don't want my pastor fussing at me. But here we go. Remember this stat. And I know, like I said, I know Piano Man knows that but let's, like I said, let's take Jalen out and let's take Dylan Lonergan out. Okay? Let's move them out now. They're no longer with the program. Okay, so we can't fuss about that anymore. They're off the table. But look at this stat. Ty Simpson, 6 games played. Ty Simpson played 6 games. A 112 passer rating, 14 completions, 25 attempts, 0 interceptions, a 56% passer. QB, okay? 167 yards, 0 touchdowns, at 27.83 yards per, but that's it. Okay. Austin Mack, one game at a 285.87 passer rating. 2 completions, 3 attempts, no interceptions, a 66.67% percentage, 39 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, I know that all the experts out there and the other content creators say, Piano Man, you're foolish for looking at it that way. No, I'm not. Because I'm looking at the context of some things as well as the content. I kept telling you that if Ty was supposed to have been so good, how come he never could beat out Jalen? Tells you everything you need to know right there. And in the game, and I'm about to bring up something else to you. And I'm going to give the benediction when I say this. When Austin threw that touchdown to Rico Scott, none of the starters went and really congratulated him. Go back and look at it. Ryan Williams did. I'm talking about like quarterback. They didn't really do it. Now, for whatever the reason, I don't know, but I caught that. But I'm telling you, because that doggone pass was a thing of beauty, and you couldn't have asked for it to be any better. Rico Scott, all he had to do was catch it and run on in the end zone, and he did that bad boy. Now, at the very end, when you go back and look at it, it did have a little wobble to it, but that wasn't happening when it left his hands. But at the end there, he put it dead on the money. But you see right there, but the stats say Ty didn't do that. Sorry. Thank you, KT. I need an usher. Stand up there at the altar. Wait on souls to come in. Look, y'all, I got to go. I got to get ready to go to church. Again, I apologize. I forgot about church tonight. And but I wanted to be a man of my word and just come on, and thankful that I thought about it. I can just come on earlier. Thank you for to the Keeping It a Buck crew for understanding, and for each of you, thank you for understanding. Thank you for hanging out with Piano Man. I'm pretty sure Kangaroo Black is going to be on. So once you leave me, I'm pretty sure my big brother Kangaroo Black is going to be on, and I know he will welcome you to join his live. And yes, that was Mercer, Nick. It was, even though it was against Mercer, I don't give a hoot if it was against Sacred Heart. He threw that, and that bad boy was dead on the money. Now on the next live, we're gonna talk about some more things. I'm gonna be coming back, and we're gonna talk about the spring roster. I have that. Who's up for the spring and this, that, and the third. We're gonna talk Alabama football. And again, I thank you for your time. I thank you for the adjustment. Y'all continue to support us. And for those of you that have not subscribed to us, hey, it costs $0.00 to subscribe to us. Subscribe to us and become part of a great family. We're family. We love God. We love each other. We love you. And we love the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay? So until the next time, I may not see you tonight or tomorrow, but I'll see you in the long run. But before I go, let's continue to keep OG Gill in prayer. And everybody that's going through some type of crisis or whatever, man, I'll say this, man, God is able. And, man, he's able to keep us and strengthen us and all that good stuff, okay? So let's keep our friends and our families and our brothers and our sisters covered in prayer. Need everybody to stay warm, stay safe, and until the next time, I'm out. Roll Tide. Hey, let's go join KB. See you in a minute. Peace.